Okay, I think this is my second vlog without, not vlog, stream without the VR headset. I hope it started. Yes, looks like it. It's pretty late, over 1 a.m. but I just had to document my thoughts because of what I explained or mentioned in an earlier stream, that I no longer do private vlogs, so this is the only option. And yeah, I don't know, it's just random yapping, me documenting to myself pretty much, so that I would be able to in the future get back to this moment. In the past week, I have had many developments. One I explained yesterday, setting those alarms. What was it? Wait. How many hours? Was it 14 hours? Yeah, so it's 56 alarms in a day. Each or after 15 minutes. I need to stop the alarm, but yes, that was one development. And what was the other one? This is a kind of awkward angle. The other one, yeah, removing the private vlogs from my life. That was huge. And I explained how that state had been my strongest safe place or safe state in my life. And the idea was that I will develop my thinking skills, so that just by thinking without talking, I will build that to be my safe place. And today it kind of happened. Another safe place I have had is watching K-pop music videos, or okay, other music videos as well, but mainly K-pop. Last few years, that has been my go-to if I want to daydream or also think. The thinking is not that effective compared to just meditating without any music or visual distractions. But still, music videos, watching those has been a safe place, and it still is. But yeah, and what has been the next goal? What has been the problem that I wanted to fix? That has been controlling my life. That if I think how much time would I want to spend on gamifying politics project, or to entertainment, free time, or just streaming building my website, anything, I haven't felt that, hey, I know, or I could figure it out. I haven't controlled that. That everything I do is kind of random to this point. That if I get a signal feeling from outside that I need to do this, then I do that. But there hasn't been any control. I haven't controlled what I do. I explained that yesterday, I think, that I almost always pick the first option because it's very rare that I do even have options, that I want to do something. I have lived so much just by habits and choosing the easiest option and listening to my environment to give me the choice. So yeah, that has been kind of the next goal after getting this fragmented life figured out and getting used to thinking without talking. And a few hours ago, actually 2 hours ago, I started to think, because, well, the timers go off every 15 minutes and the idea is that it will raise my consciousness, which it does pretty well. Not every time, of course, but many times during the day my consciousness rises. I realize that, wait, I can think, I can do. And very often I'm getting used to feeling that 15 minutes. I start to expect the alarm to go off. And also even a little sound might trigger my brain that, hey, is that the alarm? Because I have heard it so many times. But no, it wasn't. So 2 hours ago, I started to think what to do next, because I felt in the last maybe 2 days, I have been able to just put my life, the pieces of my life together, the groups. And it really does have like 4 or 5 mainly, maybe 6. So I'm not talking about 100 things. The way I see my life is very simplistic. And one could ask, what's so difficult? Why haven't I done that before? It's because every one of those are difficult to think or consider in this manner. The brain just avoids it at all costs. And it's not comparable to what I have experienced before, because I have, of course, gone through my whole life, but this time is different because I have done the foundation so much deeper, that now if I consider something, it consists of way more emotions than before. So yeah, before it was kind of like play, game, or study work. It's not real. It's easy to just think about, okay, my life is this, but now it's not like that. It's serious. Every move I make is serious. So that was starting to click, and I'm already getting used to it, that hey, I have now gotten a feeling that I control my life. And also the safe place. I realized today that I have already built that. It's enough. So 2 hours ago, I thought about porn. There are two ways I think of porn and have consumed it in 15 years. One is kind of objective and one is subjective. I don't think I have explained those on stream before, and I'm not going to. This is sort of continuation to my private vlogs, as I stated at the beginning. So I don't assume anyone to fully understand this. But anyways, so I thought about porn and I have tried to get rid of it or part of it in the past, but it hasn't been the priority. And it's difficult. Porn is something that's quite unique to anything else because it's so private compared to entertainment. You don't really get advice for it, and it's a very strong motivator. Trying to get sex, which porn is simulation of. So it is, I think, by far maybe not by far, one of the most difficult aspects to change relating to sex. But yes, before I have wanted to change it a little bit, how I watch it, what I watch, but I thought then it was too difficult. I should focus on something else instead, because of course I have had a full list of stuff to develop. And it was the right call, of course. I was right to not worry about it. It's like I would have changed my entertainment too soon. I shouldn't break things before I have the alternative. But now I thought about it and realized I can do this now because I have done the developments, required developments already. I have the kind of infrastructure there, and also I have nothing else to do. So these are one of the last items. So I changed it, removed it, but then I started to think, okay, what's next? And I thought about K-pop. A few months ago, I mentioned on a stream that I made a plan which still consisted of theses, like 3 or 5 hours. And on that plan, I decided to not listen to music because it just doesn't make sense and it's sort of not required for my vision. But I still brought it back. I realized it wasn't necessary then. I continued listening to music. It was fine. But now I'm thinking again, why do I listen to music? And especially, why do I follow K-pop? In the few years I have listened to K-pop, I have argued that there are many good things about it. One is the good quality. I like the songs. One is that I don't listen lyrics, and actually it might be a negative if I understand the lyrics. So Korean was good there. Also it included dance, some visuals like music videos. I like that. A lot of 4K, especially on new ones. So I can watch comfortably using VR headset. And then the industry behind the music, idol culture, that I also liked. So it was a combination of many things. I could watch normal YouTube videos and get to know these idols and then listen to their music and watch their performances and so on. It has kind of represented AI also, that this odd relationship that the idols and the companies are making with the fans is, well, odd. That it's their job, and is it good for humanity? I'm not going to go into that right now, but AI will be very similar, that it's something that's not real, but very human-like. And of course, idols are real, but the act is not. The entertainment, the content is often fake. It's scripted and it's modified and so on. So it has kind of given me ideas about AI. And one thing has been that it's based on South Korea, of course, Korean pop. And that's on the other side of the earth from Finland, not exactly, of course, but still it represents another culture. So getting just even a small part of that culture, getting to know it through K-pop has been a positive thing. It also gives an example of South Korea's working culture, which is not very human, maybe. The harsh reality of K-pop industry, women's rights in South Korea, the conservative nature of the country. So K-pop has given me a lot of different benefits, I would say. But right now, do I need it? Is it part of my vision? Of course, with any change, the brain tries to fight against change. But I am in a situation where my brain doesn't fight back like it has used to. I can make changes very quickly, mainly because I have sort of removed the guide rails or the reasons why it can't change. I don't know how to explain it, but main point is change for me is super easy. So I very quickly realized, wait, can I make this change this quickly? Just by deciding it. And then it kind of spread the idea that I have mealworm farm consisting of, is it 5 or 6 boxes? Now it's almost 5 months old, I think, that I have owned those, and soon I will, or the first adults in 4 months will born. Why do I have that? Why do I have that set of boxes with worms inside eating the oats and carrots? That's a good question. I, of course, knew this on September when I bought it, that if I had thought about it more, I never would have bought it. But then I just kept it going, kept feeding them carrots, and I don't know if they prospered there. Right now, well, it has been 20 degrees Celsius for the last 2 months maybe. Here in Finland, here in my apartment, so it has been cold, and 2 days ago I took my humidifier from the closet and started using it. Humidifier, yes. Started using it, so the air had started to become dry. The humidity level, yes. It was below 20%, setting to 17. So I took the humidifier that I have owned a few years, started using it. Now it's 30%. So it's better for my health and better for my little friends, mealworms. But yeah, that mealworm farm, is it necessary? I have asked that question a few times this last 5 months. Is it 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, yes. 5 months, and I have argued that I have it now, it's not taking that much time, so why not continue? But now I'm asking that question again, and trying to argue for it. is not very well. The arguments are not very good. Previously, I thought that the farm would give me ideas about growing insects, eating insects in general, getting into that, some morals. So I'm vegan, home vegan in other parts, but that I would eat meat, worms. So the idea is that it raises moral questions, if that's right. If those beings are conscious in a way, or what is it? Not conscious, but conscience. Well, anyways, so that has been one argument, at least. So I thought, why not keep going? Also, I have never raised anything, even a plant. I don't think I have owned. So that has been my first way. And I thought, hey, new experience, why not continue? But also, a few days ago, I argued, when I thought about it again, that it's not really taking that much time. That it will maybe teach me to handle many things in life. So that shouldn't take too much my attention. That after I have filled my whole other time with productive things, that could be the last kind of piece that I will take out. But now I'm thinking that it's still time, and I don't need to learn to handle everything with that. It doesn't, I don't feel that it benefits me anymore. It doesn't keep me going. It doesn't give me nutrients, or at least that much. I haven't eaten those in 4 months. They have grown very slowly, but at least many of them are alive. Thousands of them probably. But there are. And also after 4 months, the adults are also alive, many of them, which is a surprise. I would have thought that they live maybe 3 or 4 months max, but no, they are going there and making babies, and yeah, so maybe they're cold, well, not cold, but colder environment slows their lifespan. But anyways, let's come back from it. So after K-pop, thinking that, okay, I should move on from that, I thought about that as well. And then I thought about other aspects of my life. I looked at my carpet. I have a carpet here. Do I need it? Do I need the carpet? What if I gave it away? What if I I have, is it 2 or 3, maybe 4 K-pop albums I bought. Dreamcatchers, what was it, OOTD, or Villainous, Bon Voyage, then the first 2, I think. Chase Me Goodnight. I thought, why do I have them? Shouldn't I just give them away? Isn't that part of my vision? Many of my friendships, why do I have those friends? It's probably a very simple answer to many, that of course I'm not getting rid of my friends, but how much do I really gain from some events, some meetings? All of my friends I wouldn't cause any fights. They would understand. But the main point here is that I realized that I can actually make all these changes right away. In one night, I can just change my life. It has never been like this. And part of me fears that I would, well, maybe that part that doesn't want to change fears that what I would do, but I can actually do this change. It's impossible to describe. I wouldn't even understand myself a few months ago if I tried now to explain this to my past self. Maybe a few months ago I would, let's say a year ago, I wouldn't. So if I, a year ago, wouldn't understand myself now, it's quite unlikely no one will understand how much power I feel I have in my mind. My life is becoming more and more clear and small in a sense. I discussed this on stream a week ago or a few days ago, not sure. But previously, just making one change would have caused me to needing to take a break or get an excuse to start watching music videos and just move on, or have a few days off from development. But now I don't feel that. I feel that I can just do this change. So I realized how delicate my life is nowadays. That because I can make fundamental changes to my life very quickly, it might be risky. I don't know. Feels very odd and, as I said, delicate. At what moves do I make? And I'm very certain of my vision, but this change, the idea that I would change rapidly, right away, everything, that made me think about and kind of pressure my vision and my deepest feelings, sources of motivation and meaning for my life, if that's really what I want. Previously, I would have feared more that by removing things from my life, maybe this is a path to having a life where I don't find joy anymore. That the more I understand that it wouldn't bring joy. I think I have discussed that on stream, but at least on my private vlogs a lot. But that's not a problem anymore. I know whatever I choose, I can find happiness in that. If I can't, I change my life again. It's not, yeah, I don't think it's possible for me to choose or break my life in a way that I would just find myself in a place where I couldn't enjoy anything anymore. I'm in a quite unique situation. I could imagine that I'm less and less controlled by social norms. These changes that I would make are not just against my whole life that I have lived this day, but also my social relationships. It doesn't feel right to change myself, because that would change how people see me and interact with me. I have friends or some similar interests with friends. What if I stop doing that? What if I send them a message, hey, I will no longer be interested in this? I have already kind of decided or kind of said that I will attend something, some event, but now I'm questioning, do I even want to go there anymore? I went to Artemis's concert 2 weeks ago, and that was something I thought on December or November that I don't know if I will attend that with a friend, because from my vision's perspective, it doesn't make sense to spend 150 euros in total in a K-pop concert that I'm not even the biggest fan of. Was it before, or the day before or two, I found my bias from that group. But I still attended because I wasn't even trying to control my life at that point 2 weeks ago. Yes, I'm in a situation where the arguments for continuing are kind of bad. Previously, just a safety, let's say, that K-pop has been one constant in my past 4 years, 3.5. That by removing that, it would create uncertainty. Well, that's not the case anymore. As I explained, the thinking aloud has been one, or the biggest safety. I removed that and K-pop the other. And even though this new found safe place is kind of today or one day old, I have no difficulty removing one or the last safe, old safe state. The arguments for music itself are non-existent because there are a lot of other music. And now I'm not going to stop listening to music, not like I thought in September or October, because it's a very big part of culture and I think I will still get a lot from it. Just learn new things, as I said, from different cultures, but also being their helper to think and feel, possibly daydream if I want to do that. A background noise. So I will still continue listening to music. Of course, if I want, I don't even know who I will be tomorrow. But the idea is that I will move past K-pop. It's something I don't learn new things anymore from. I have stayed on girl groups almost entirely. I thought at some point that I would like to experience the boy groups as well, but I think I'm just gonna move on to every other music category and place. It makes sense from my vision's perspective to not stay at any point. And that's very similar mindset that I have for everything else as well. Do I have that carpet? Why would I have something just for me if it doesn't have function for others, just for my entertainment? Is it nice to walk there? Maybe, yeah. But yeah. And then those K-pop albums, why do I have them? Just for myself. Well, I don't need them. Yeah. That mealworm farm, do I need it? No. Is it for something else, someone else? Not really. There's very little I can learn from them anymore. I thought about the VR glasses, that is it really necessary for me to have them and see a large screen instead of buying very cheap ones or just using my laptop? Do I even need a powerful computer? But on that regard, I will keep the VR headset because it's still, I think it makes sense. It's very compact compared to having room-sized screens. But I think I will still start to use my laptop more. It's not necessary. And almost, or all of these changes, just thinking about them, they automatically raise some feelings that it's not right. This is partly who I am. I'm someone who watches K-pop. I'm someone who has those stuff. So it makes me question my life, this reality. And social role as well, social place, that if I completely change, others will not recognize me. But from my perspective, I will find the people to work with. I will find new place to live. I will find entertainment, even if it's work, if it's coding, problem solving, or reading news. I will enjoy it. But yeah, just the idea that this is not just a thought. That people kind of dream and consider many things, they never do it. They're actually very far from executing it. But I have no need to wait. I will do them. That's scary. And thought appeared also before about my insanity. Will this create more insanity? Because I'm not copying anyone else. This is a unique path that I'm following, my own senses. It will very probably go further from the norm and from people. Is that sustainable life? I turned 28 in what, 2 months? Yeah. What if I live 50 years? Oh. I don't think I will live very long, but yeah, this is very interesting crossroad that, of course, in some way I have known I'm going to come across, because this is change. I'm not changing the vision, but I'm changing myself according or to fit the vision. So of course this needed to happen, but I realize I never actually thought about it, that I could do this, or at least it wasn't right how I felt it, because this is now a new feeling. smart thing to do would not do hasty changes. Like with that mealworm farm. It was just for me to avoid thinking. That's pretty much what it was. And many other things have been the same. That I just wanted to avoid thinking, so I realized or suddenly wanted something. And that mealworm farm, as I talked about it on September, it was something I had thought of 2 or 3 years back already. That's why I wanted to test it, but yeah, it was still quick decision. I have started to talk more with people, but now with this these happenings have caused me to consider those conversations and whether I even am interested in meeting with them. Because I think with 2 of them I could already set up a meeting. And one other person yeah, 2 other people. One sent me a friend request, one new love. I'm using the Boo app for dating and finding friends. Tinder, of course, in my case is not working because I don't have the looks. I still have it. Yeah, no action there. It seems like this Boo is, for me at least, quite good, because I don't even use that much, and still just a few or 1 or 2 swipes, and that might, yeah, suddenly many people are interested. If I do these changes, those profiles I have would change immediately. That suddenly I can't write that, hey, I'm interested in K-pop, or maybe I'm not interested in VR anymore. I need to take that away from LinkedIn. And the reason why is, and this is the biggest question, what is it that I want? What kind of life do I actually want? So what is the vision? This is my life. It's not some project that people become different person just for the project. I'm actually considering now getting rid of a lot of stuff that I already have quite little to start with. So having even less possession, just because it's not part of my vision. And then moving out very quickly, that I would make that a goal. I want to move out. Why am I waiting? I wouldn't be waiting anymore, anything. I would just get rid of entertainment from my life. In the past, it would have been also a question how. It's not anymore. I can do it. The changes I make are already huge scale, and how easy it is. It's crazy. I don't know what to do with this power. But yeah, I can make very big changes. That will change my life. What if I'm suddenly in Germany with no friends there? I don't watch any entertainment. I just spend my days coding and thinking about the world's problems. Is there anything wrong in that? No, but this was just to say that I'm talking about very noticeable and big changes. And automatically I get the feeling it's not right. But if I imagine that life, I can imagine myself living it, that I can still find an entertainment. In my case, it's super easy. If I want to like something, I can like it. It takes little effort, or some effort, but very little. I can like any art, so that's why listening to music is super easy, because I can just listen to anything and like it, and know or get to like it. In the past, or the reason why I have been stuck on K-pop is simply the easiness of it, not changing genres. Staying on K-pop has been super easy. That's why I haven't moved on. I have listened from time to time. I have listened to some Finnish songs as well, maybe some nostalgic to me, and then some songs that I listened before I started K-pop. So it hasn't been 100%, but still 97% maybe. Fundamental changes. That will shape my whole life. Not that much, to be honest. Compared to what it is already right now. Maybe those friends. So making changes that change my relationships with people, that will be new. That they will have to learn a new person, but other than that, maybe not that huge change after all. One interesting thing here is how calm my mind is. It's not even panicking that I'm thinking about this. Even 2 months ago, this would have been a huge thing. Right now, I'm talking about going insane if I make a wrong move here. My mind is just fine with it. Super odd, super weird. So many options. I still have so many options. I don't know if will I start thinking about friendships, human connection as numbers? That if I really want to develop global democracy, what sort of interactions do I want? Do I want to spend an hour talking about our hobbies? Or will I just try to get right information out of them? If I make these changes, I will soon have very little common with people. No interest in meeting them. Because it's all just philosophy. I'm looking for friends who understand me. So philosophy, right now, just removing all the stuff that I'm thinking of removing feels depressive, because I haven't filled that space. First, I need to create a vision, proper vision, that what will be in the place of this that I'm used to. Do I need to come back from the vision a little bit to leave some friends, some events? How will I decide? Because until now I have kind of just went with it, that I have these friend groups, these friends, and mostly, okay, in group settings I haven't been the one initializing maybe the meetups, but individually I'm often the one who sends a message, hey, do you want to meet? Do you want to talk? It has been sort of, or one reason for it has been avoidance. That by booking up meetings, I avoid doing myself, working on these projects. What if I control that now, that I can work on the projects? Do I still have motivation to book those meetings? If I remove the reason behind, or the main reason why I have done that before or in the past? That's a good question. And I have argued before that I will learn from these people how they think, how more normal people think, how capable they are of change. I have argued that by being social, it would benefit my goals. I would learn from them. But I kind of fear that I wouldn't need that input anymore. Or I never did. At least to this degree, that I would have a meeting every day with someone. And even random people would be fine. I kind of fear that I actually don't need their information, that I already understand people enough to build, or yeah, I understand them enough to build the social platforms and collaborative platforms without the knowledge of, okay, this kind of person exists. I can manually change my happiness level. Do I need a relationship? Why do I need it? I can finish in 3 minutes, almost at any point if I want to, without porn. Just jerk off. It doesn't take long. Just using my imagination, it's not difficult. Relationship for me, I don't need that safety. Is it fun? Yes. But a lot of other things are fun as well, like following K-pop content or running an ultra marathon. I have used an example of something I have decided to not do because of this life work. Why would music be any different? Why would relationship be any different? Someone could say that love is different. Is it really? At this level of consciousness. And in my case, I have never felt strong urge for it. That's why I'm still alone at almost 28. I just haven't felt the need for a relationship. It doesn't bring me any feelings of safety, feeling needed or loved or something. No, I'm fine. I have always been by myself. So I don't need external validation at all. So yeah, the current situation is interesting. And I will figure this out one way or another. It's not like I have found something new per se. I have said it a lot in the last month maybe, that I have nothing to discover in myself anymore. I think I have mentioned it on multiple streams as well. I think that's still the case, that this development is not bringing anything new. Of course, it's new experience. I haven't felt these feelings, but I'm not learning anything new from myself, because the foundation is built. The vision hasn't changed. It's just the details. Yeah, just the details. What do I want for this meat sack? This biological robot. Before starting this stream, I thought that my vision or my life could become just work, like I have visioned, aiming to find solutions to improve democracy, also aim to find wealth. It would give me more resources to help develop democracy. And maybe some business solutions will also help, so I could get some money from it. Balance. How much with people I need to be. And I mean friends and family. Doing something that's not beneficial for my life work. I can always come back, and I wouldn't need to make any final decisions. I thought about K-pop, that in the past I have maybe thought that I thought about deleting my YouTube channel for music. In other words, K-pop, where I have thousands of videos watched. The algorithm is built. Also, I have YouTube Music that I use. That's history, playlists. I thought, what if I removed everything? Because clearly I don't need the algorithm anymore. I can just find music. And previously I think I would have done that, but now I don't think it's necessary, because doing that would be a control move. I would control it, that I no longer can even relapse. But I think my control level is so high that it's not needed. Or is it? Well, yeah. Why would I keep the videos or the algorithm, the history? In time, the algorithm will change if I start watching other stuff. Music from other places than Korea. Well, yeah. The question is, what is the vision? How much do I want it? The other one is, could this be part of my vision? That I still maintain some normal human experience. That I do own some hobbies, interests. Do I need it? Maybe not for others, but for myself. TikTok, I did remove from my phone. And I have already forgot it exists. If I really wanted to achieve global democracy, and it's very interesting how I got back into this kind of depressive state that I think I have mentioned on previous streams. Also, that I felt a month ago. I was constantly, or the work I did, self-development, was around not having a meaning. So the zero state, I don't remember what I mentioned on stream and what was on my private vlogs. There I explained it pretty extensively. But I felt depressive then. But I know how human brain works, or how my brain works from experience, that it's just temporary. And I can change my happiness levels, and I can come back to more normal people's level. Today I enjoyed greatly watching Dreamcatcher's Sua's and Guyan's first videos on their fresh YouTube channels. I had the best time. And now I broke my life again. I will find happiness. Yeah, the question is, should I keep something? So the vision Vision is based on a feeling. Now I need to question that feeling again, that source of motivation to change my whole life for this cause. It would be quite funny if I found some other meaning. Suddenly I want to settle down, form a family and start living a normal life. Yeah, it would need a lot of changes. Because the whole infrastructure in my brain, in my life, is built towards this helping humanity, helper of humanity life. Also, one idea or one thought was that should I even advise others if I'm having maybe some difficulty in managing my life? I mentioned that delicate word. What if I lead others to this feeling? Are they capable of managing their own lives, realizing these things themselves? I would say that most people I would advise, consult on this matter, how to change oneself, that they wouldn't want to make huge changes like I have. That people are very good at settling. How many are actually living their best lives? The motivation for me to change my life, that feeling has been very, very small. It hasn't been a powerful feeling. But in my case, because I have felt so little pressure from outside, I haven't been given any easy route. That's why that voice has been the only voice that I have listened to, because that's I have mentioned it many times that if some woman was interested in me a few years ago, my life would be completely different. If I had gotten a job, I would do that job right now. But yeah, life went this way and I followed a feeling, deep feeling, not strong, but still the only thing, only marker. I followed that a few years later and I'm here. Yeah. A little bit crazy. I keep checking the tablet. That's my screen. Whether the stream is still on and whether I have audio. Seems okay. It's 2:30 a.m. I don't need to continue this, just mainly for documenting to myself. there anything else I want to add? I'll continue thinking about this tomorrow or today. Yeah, I think this is enough. The overall feeling I was able to tell. I think in the future, even years from now, by watching this, I should be able to get into this feeling, somewhat at least understand what I was going through. Yeah, and yeah, it's from this video, it should be clear that at least some major thing happened this time. Changing my life. I will think about the human part. That how close I want to be. What is the, because the vision is about work, that I would do work, but and be social, help people. But now I need to think about how I would help them. How would I reach others if I don't keep my friends, if I have nothing in common with them anymore? Is that gonna hurt my vision? Is it beneficial to have normal friendships? But I don't need it for my mental health or happiness. I'm just strictly thinking about it benefiting my vision. Because everyone is already my friend. Very interesting, very interesting. Feels very odd removing major things in my life, from my life, because I have struggled with getting rid of some things, some parts of me, some habits, and they have been clear that I want to get rid of them, but I kind of never thought that, hey, I need to get rid of these as well. Wait, what? I thought it was only them. No, it's you also. That's weird. Just I haven't, well, it's weird because I haven't felt this before, like this at least. I haven't learned it from anyone else. So it's a unique life experience for me, completely. That, often when it happens, it also makes me question whether I'm asleep or actually living. Yeah. Do I need to have this phone? 1,700 euros. Is it worth it? Do I need it? I will need to question everything that I have. But yeah, so for my homework to myself, figure out again, what is the feeling? What is the deep feeling that I put over everything else? Because yeah, this all depends on that fundamentally. And then what is the vision? Make that more clear, include everything that would what is the word? Replace the nowadays habits. So better vision, especially what to do with people. If I move to Taiwan or Germany or South Korea, automatically how I communicate with my family and friends would change. How much? What would we do? So in that regard, this would just be similar, but without me moving, making a decision that, hey, maybe it's not the best, or I have changed my mind on this event, I'm not going to attend. Yeah, thinking about benefits from having different kinds of conversations. I have said it a lot. I think that I don't get much from having conversations with people, that I feel that I understand them. I already understood them before we had a conversation. And most of the time during that conversation, I'm just focusing on them, trying to help them, but I don't learn. I haven't learned anything new. But that's of course not the case, because it's still life experience. I still do remember many of those conversations and maybe thought back on them after the meetup. So of course they have shaped me and given me new ideas. Maybe not directly that I realize in that conversation that, hey, that was a good point. You gave me an idea, but at least subconsciously, it has been experienced. So difficulty here would be to calculate, put a number on benefit. How much does different actions benefit me, and what do I want? it is so weird having so little in my mind. Again, so simple. There's nothing to, no magic, no need to discover myself. It's just there. Considering a few things give me a feeling that, hey, I understand my life. I can control my life. I haven't even scratched the surface of my thinking capabilities. These thoughts I created today happened in like 15 minutes, 30 minutes. And then it was just aftermath. But if I were more productive in my days in the future, at least in my vision, it will look completely different. How much I can add value, I can create value. Okay, but for this to not go too long, I will end it here. Good documenting session. Okay, I don't think I will, yeah, no need to write any notes. Just leave it like this.